Good evening, listeners, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of
Fear the Queer, a podcast that talks about everything on our gay agendas. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Josh.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about toys!
Yes, and I brought a whole bunch of them. I have my dildos, my butt...
That's not the kind of toy. I'm talking about like Barbies and action figures and building blocks.
Oh, well then we don't need these.
Well, you're going to pick that up. You're going to pick that up off the floor? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you set that dildo over there. Why is it blue?
It was what my hair color was at the time.
Okay, well, I don't... that doesn't explain too much. But before we get started... Sure. But before we get started, Josh, what are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking spiked hot chocolate.
Because it's
also
cozy.
known as hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa. Cheers,
with
Chris.
some peppermint schnapps.
And it makes me feel cozy as we're getting into
it won't get us drunk.
It won't get us. No, it's not. But it makes us feel cozy since we're doing the holiday season. Yes, I said holiday season. This is the war on Christmas.
Yes. Do you remember like those Facebook videos of like that guy like petitioning like bring Christmas back? And
that's me.
Ah.
Yeah. The war on Christmas.
He was a little bit more masculine.
Keep the Christ in Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch out, bitches.
What was
They're coming for you. The red cups.
The red cups.
The red cups. Starbucks. War on Christmas.
I don't even remember what Starbucks had.
They did the red cups one year because they're like, fine, we won't have any holiday thing. So red cups. And then people were mad that there was the red cups. And then they were mad that there was red cups. They were mad that there was any kind of holiday thing. And then the next year they're like, fine, we'll put like winterscapes on there. And then they're like, winterscapes? That's not Jesus in the manger. And I'm like, you can't win. And like, it's literally coffee, people.
Right. And weren't people like going in and demanding like writing Jesus on their Starbucks
I remember
cup?
that. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Jesus wouldn't want you to even be giving money to a giant corporation.
Right.
You could, you know what Jesus would rather have you do? Instead of getting your giant mocha latte, how about you give money towards like the homeless or like groups that actually need like shelter and food?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Just saying. Just seems like something Jesus would actually be doing.
Yeah. But this is not the topic of discussion tonight. Like Kyle said, we're talking about toys.
Well, Jesus is the reason of the season. Oh. Toys. I love toys,
yes.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we're going to do another segment of
Catch That Queer, in which we talk about someone who has helped the LGBTQ plus community in the past, present, or future. And Josh kind of took the reins on this one tonight. So, Josh, who are you talking about tonight?
So, we're actually not talking about a particular someone. We're actually talking about something in the news lately that I wanted to bring up. Nope. It is not fake news. It has been verified. It has been certified. And it is glorified.
Did you get it from Fox News?
No.
Because that's the only news I follow. I'm very political. Very political tonight.
Yes.
So what is the queer group that you're doing or queer thing that you're doing?
So we're actually going to be talking about an article that was written by Samantha Schmidt for the Washington Post.
Okay.
And it's actually about bringing queer history into Colonial Williamsburg, the tourist attraction.
Yes.
Okay.
I have cousins that live there. I haven't heard about this, but I have cousins that live in Colonial Williamsburg, or they like live there.
Oh, okay,
the Williamsburg in Virginia, right? It's Virginia, right?
Right.
Not Brooklyn.
No, that's a different Williamsburg.
That's different Williamsburg. Yes.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, the article kind of points out that a few years ago, a woman named Aubrey Moog Ayers was an orientation interpreter at an apothecary shop.
Apothecary.
See, unlike you, I want to say things correctly.
Just because I had one bad podcast where I couldn't speak anything.
Right.
Where I couldn't speak anything? It's begun. It's begun.
We actually haven't fed Kyle from last week, so he's just
skinny.
He's just skinny now. So anyway, she was working at an apothecary shop, and she was kind of giving like a demonstration, and a queer couple actually asked her, "Do you know any queer history about Colonial Williamsburg, and what could you share with us?" And Aubrey actually identifies as queer herself. Mm-hmm. And she told them a few things. She's just like, I know about the Molly houses. You know about those.
I know about the Molly houses. I wrote about it for the magazine I help out with, Slaughterhouse Magazine.
Oh.
Put a little plug in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a butt plug, but.
Not a butt plug. You keep those toys over there. No, I was writing about queer safe spaces.
Yes.
So explain what Molly houses are.
So basically they were kind of like meeting houses back in the day for and they originated in England, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, for queer men.
And they'd be like a pub in the front, and then at a certain hour or a certain time of day, you could go to the back, or the pub would kind of transform into
It's
kind of like a.
I'm imagining like a cartoon, like it literally like spins around, like one
Kind of, yeah. Like you go behind the curtain, and it would be like super queer. There'd be like men in traditionally feminine clothing, and also Molly houses have been said to sometimes house like male prostitutes.
Oh, really?
So it was like men who couldn't have sex with other men openly would go to a Molly house sometimes. They would also it was kind of the first place that drag shows would happen. Yeah.
Was it also the first place that Molly was sold?
I don't know her. Molly the American Girl doll?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's where she began. So anyway, after that, she was just like, she kind of realized, she was like, actually, I really don't know much about the queer history.
Outside of like Molly houses and stuff.
And things like that. So earlier this year, her and a few other staff members actually signed a petition to have the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation to actually kind of help fund them and help them kind of open up the doors to do queer research.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, for the, specifically for the tourist attraction, so that way...
Yeah.
Yeah. And they actually signed off on it, which was great.
That is great.
Yeah. So it's kind of... Like earlier this year, Illinois became one of the first, I think there's only 5 states that have legally said that you have to teach LGBTQ history in educational purposes. Like,
right.
So like for Illinois, for example, it's going to be now taught in like elementary, middle school, high schools and things like that. So thankfully we're on the path of like it becoming a mandatory process for people.
Right.
Yes. We're getting into this in just a little bit here. So basically they started doing public funding for it. They started doing like a little research. They did say it's obviously difficult because historians have said that we are using terminology and vocabulary today that has not been introduced back then. Like,
Right.
Queer was not even a concept back then.
Right. Or like queer was something completely different.
Right.
It wasn't a sexuality.
No.
It was or a gender expression. It was
it was just
different.
Yeah, it was
like,
just different.
Oh, I had this crumpet and it was so queer.
Right. You meant the actual word.
The queer crumpet.
The queer crumpet. Yes.
That's my name on Grindr.
So, they also were... So, they brought up a few things. They had to do some research with, like, looking at past cases of, like, sodomy and, like, different, like, letters that were written back in the day, diaries and things like that. They brought up Thomasine Hall. You know about them?
Start talking about. I'm such bad with names. I'm
such
bad. I'm such bad. I'm a bad guy. Billie Eilish. I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
So what they do?
So Thomasine Hall was born female and was raised in England. And then as an adult, they joined the army and would start presenting as a man with like short hair and they like dress in men's clothing, very Mulan. And then when they moved to Virginia, Hall actually continued to live as both a man and woman.
Oh, work. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I vaguely in my history diving, I do remember some of this.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, long story short, Virginia court then was unable to determine Hall's sex, which I'm not really sure what the process was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing that like, obviously that's probably a lot more to it, but the article did say that Thomasine was not allowed to choose gender for themselves, and as punishment, it ordered Hall to wear both men and women's clothing.
Okay.
Which I know it's like at the time it was like great.
I did the same thing.
Right.
I think it's kind of like we can't determine your sex, and therefore the binary does not exist. And I'm just like, say that one more time into the mic for me.
Right. Well, I'm just imagining that
break the binary. Okay.
Like imagine the judge like just being tired at the end of the day, just like as punishment, you have to wear both. Hits the gavel
and just like chooses the best
Bring
part.
in
like,
the dancing lobster.
Amanda show. Yeah, no, I picture like, okay, fine, you get to choose like, okay, I want like a big wool men's coat and like a loose fitting skirt and some work boots. That seems comfy.
Right. It's
what
concept.
A look. Hello.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay, so the reason why I brought this up is because obviously the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation have openly said that they want to try to do this to gain more people to come to the attraction and things like that. I actually don't really have a problem with that because I don't really consider that like a capitalistic like opportunity. I feel like people are paying to be educated.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, definitely. I think that especially with historic sites. Like, I went to a lot of historical places as a kid. Like, my dad would rather us go do something regarding history than going to, like, Disney World or, like something that a lot of would be more like touristy things that families do, which I am grateful for now because now I'm like such a history person.
Right.
But if you go to, like, let's say Gettysburg once, okay. Like, what?
Right,
why?
like you would never go
You
there
wouldn't
again.
go again. So I think people, once they do something that's historical, they're like, well, I've been to Mount Rushmore. That's it.
Right.
So I think in a tourist marketing sense.
Oh my god, imagine if like Mount Rushmore was like updated every once in a while.
Oh my god, like they add like a new face.
Right, like every year.
Oh,
and
I
it's just like
that.
a really long line.
I guarantee. I've never been to Mount
Face,
Rushmore, but face. She gives me face, stone cold face. But I picture from like a tourist marketing standpoint, they're like, okay, how can we revitalize this? How can we make this good? How can we kind of push for people to come back or have a reason to come back?
Right.
So in that sense, I don't see it as like a capitalistic endeavor, like building off of like queer people, as much as like when people are like, well, LGBTQ history shouldn't be taught in schools. LGBTQ history is American history.
Right.
People who try to make excuses like you're shoving it down their people's throats. No, I think that we are discovering...
No, just this toy.
Just this toy. Oh my gosh, put those dildos away. No, I think that like people are... We're discovering more information, and it would be naive and ignorant not to try to educate ourselves on history that has always been there that we just didn't realize or it wasn't available to us.
Right.
Like, think about like... when we hear about like women in history, it's like, oh, look at this female scientist that actually broke the code for such and such. Mm-hmm. Well, that wasn't taught in schools, but should it be? Yes, because it still is history.
Right.
Or like, oh, look at this person of color who discovered this science or something. And is that history? Yeah, it's still history. Just because it wasn't taught beforehand doesn't mean it's inaccurate.
Right.
So queer history is still history, and it's important that people know this because it develops better understanding.
Right, like if you don't continue to put research into things, you might realize that you've been wrong the whole time.
Exactly.
Like flat earthers.
Okay.
Like we used to think that the earth was flat.
And some of us still do.
Yeah, some of us used to think that the atom was the smallest thing on earth.
That's true.
And then you were born, and we saw your penis.
Well, and I named him Adam. I was born. God created Adam and Kyle.
Stupid.
And he said, that is good. But, like, honestly, I think that, speaking of my penis, no, I think, honestly,
Also historical.
also historical. People have written about it in the history books. I'm fighting for people to come to my monument and take pictures with it. No, it's just so fucked up. Like, no, I think that it's important for people to continue to develop a sense of history, whether it's queer or otherwise. Mm-hmm. So if Williamsburg, this super historical American place, is discovering queer things that have happened there, I think that's good. I think that, it goes on beyond like the Stonewall riots.
Yes.
Like we've been here longer than just that 1969.
Right, like gays weren't explosionally born that day. Oh my god, I'm talking like you.
The gays were not explosionally born that day.
Well, it's funny because like LGBTQ history for most people just starts in 1969.
Oh, definitely.
The same year we went to the moon.
I think. And then we were brought back.
We're moon people!
We're moon people! We're space aliens! Oh! We've been serving intergalactic fashion ever since.
I was gonna say, I bet that explains how we are able to do so much more things.
And we like probing each other.
Speaking of which, you want to try out this toy?
Put it away! Put it away! Now to get to the heart of our gay agenda. So today we are talking about toys and not the sex toys that Josh keeps saying.
I took them home as we spoke.
Yeah, I said, get a lift, get them out of my Christian home, and get your butt back here because I want to talk about toys that we grew up with.
Yeah.
So, like, we're getting into the holiday season, and consumerism and capitalism is very much a part of the Christmas season, right?
Yes.
But today we're going to talk about the toys that we really wanted growing up, toys that we got growing up, toys that we wanted growing up, but maybe we're too queer to ask for. So, Josh, what was one of those things that you got growing up as like a kid, like a toy that you were just like so jacked about?
I remember, so weirdly enough, because this is not really my personality whatsoever today, but I was actually a huge gamer back then. Like, I loved...
Like video games?
Yeah, video games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. Like, you never would have thought that, but I loved video games. And I remember my favorite thing ever, and I still remember to this day, is when I got a Nintendo 64 for Christmas.
You bitch.
I know.
You lucky bitch.
I know. That was like... It was like a game changer. I cried.
It was a video game changer.
It was a video game changer. I cried. It had Super Mario 64 with it. It was so much fun.
I'm jealous.
I know. That was like...
I really wanted one, and my parents were like, no, you already have a Super Nintendo.
Oh, really? Well, we actually had a Super Nintendo before. And
you wealthy people.
Yeah.
Wealthy.
We never had the original Nintendo, because I think both Andre and I were too young.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a Super Nintendo, we had an N64,
mm-hmm.
we had the GameCube when it came out, and then we also got a Wii.
Well, you win. My parents were like, you have a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I wanted an N64 so bad. And I remember one Christmas, my parents were like, you can ask... Okay, so we had this rule in my house where we could only ask Santa for 3 gifts.
Oh, okay.
Because just like... just like Jesus with the 3 magi, like the 3 like wise men. And I also think it's a way that my parents kept my sister and I humble and grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
And also did not break the bank for my parents.
Right.
So one year I was like, I want an N64 because all my friends had N64.
Yeah.
And I was a kid that would go over to the house and just sit there. No.
Oh.
The friends would continue to play it, and I would just sit there watching them.
Oh, really?
And
Is it because you didn't know how to play?
No, I wanted to play, but my friends were greedy.
Oh, yeah.
And their parents would come in and be like, are you letting Kyle play? And I'm like, it's okay. I actually like watching better. Isn't that sad? It's so sad.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep the peace. So one year I said, I really want an N64. And my parents were like, well, if you want it for Christmas, that could be the only thing you ask for with Santa. And I was like, there's other things I want more than an N64.
Oh, see?
So I asked for like art supplies and Star Wars figures, and I had so many Star Wars figures. Mm-hmm. I still have a lot. My parents are like, you need to sell that shit, and I'm like, never.
Oh, I remember. Because like in terms of like being a gamer, that's what a lot of my Christmas presents were growing up.
Okay.
Like I would get like the new Pokemon trading cards. Mm-hmm. I would kind of wait an entire year for like a game would come out in like April and things like that, and I remember like I was very patient. I never wanted like it immediately.
You patient?
I know. I was very patient about it.
What happened?
Because I was meticulous about it. Because I was just like, I know for a fact if I'm patient and wait for
You'll get it at Christmas.
I could get it at Christmas.
You get it at Christmas.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just always waited patiently, and
good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I actually, even though like I will admit that I feel like my family was not financially struggling whatsoever. I don't feel like I was, I don't consider it.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think
Rich.
I was actually a greedy kid.
See, you weren't a greedy kid, and you were so patient that now as an adult, you're super greedy and you're impatient.
Yeah.
I get that. I was super polite as a kid.
Am I greedy?
I don't know. You keep taking everything you took my toys. No, you don't share. No. And I was super polite as a kid, and now I'm very in your face.
True.
Yeah. See, you should just let kids do what they want, because otherwise they're going to end up, playing with wigs like me.
That's what you got for Christmas.
Oh my God. Let me tell you. One year. Okay. So I was really happy when I got a sister. I did not want a brother.
Like in a box?
Kelsey came in a box. My sister Kelsey came in a box, and I opened it up, and she was like, "You should have poked holes."
Blue in the face.
Blue in the face, holding a knife, wielding a knife. No,
it's like in a good guy doll box.
yes. Oh, I love Child's Play. Chucky is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, like I really wanted a little sister. I did not want a brother because as a little kid, I knew like I didn't get along with boys. Like I really wanted a sister because I was like, me and the girls get along. So when I got a sister, when I got a sister, I remember one time going to Santa. I was like 5 or 6. So Kelsey was like 2. And I was like, okay, I know what I want. And I want, this Star Wars toy. I want this art supply. I want... Oh, do you remember the Stretch Men?
No, what's that?
They would like what was it? The Super Stretch Man? Oh fuck, what are they called? But they basically are like stretchy toy. It was like a man, and his arms you could stretch on either end. Like Stretch Armstrong. Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong. Yeah.
I really wanted one of those because my friend had one, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And but then I was like, okay, well, I'm making a list for Kelsey. And she was only 2, so I was like, I'm going to curate this list. And I remember asking Santa for dolls with hair, because I wanted her to have...
Are there ball dolls?
Well, baby dolls.
Oh, yeah.
Baby dolls, yeah. So I wanted, like, dolls that had hair. I remember asking for, like, an Easy Bake Oven. Like, all things that were, like... Oh, and, like, a jewelry making set.
Yeah.
Like, things that were not traditionally boy, but... I was like, oh, yeah, it's for Kelsey, wink, wink.
Yeah, because I
was like, they're for Kelsey.
Yeah, because
obviously this 2-year-old really wanted this jewelry making set. Like, she's going to choke on the fucking bead. Like,
no, because I remember I had a younger sister too, and I remember that Easy Bake Oven she got for Christmas.
Yes.
And I just remember I didn't really want it for myself, but I was like really interested to try it out. I'd be like, ooh, that looks interesting.
It's weird that Easy Bake Oven is considered like a gendered toy too, because I feel like baking is for anyone.
Right.
Why is it marketed towards girls?
I was like, did no one see Eddie's $1 Million Bake Off?
What?
It's a Disney Channel original movie. Check it out on Disney Plus.
I did not grow up with cable, so I did not see that.
It's the same story about how a boy is being made fun of because he likes to cook, and everyone on his baseball team's like, you can't do that. And he's just like, but I'm really good at it. And he wins the cook-off at the end.
I would love if they're like, you can't do that. they're like, you can't do that. And he's like, yes, I can. I can cook. Boys can cook and bake too. And then at the end, they're like, okay, fine, we'll try. We'll try your food. And they try it, and it's like really terrible. And they're like, see, we told you. Right. We don't care that you're cooking and baking. You're just not good at it. But you can hit a home run. Right. Now that's a home run.
It's weird. Like, why is that a gender thing? Because there's so many men who grow up to be chefs and bakers and things like that.
Right.
But an Easy Bake Oven is a girl thing.
Is a girl toy. Or, I mean, even dolls. Like, why do little girls get to play with dolls and little boys don't?
Right.
Who cares?
Most of them grow up to play The Sims anyway.
That's true. Oh, I remember when I got The Sims. I was like in 7th or 8th grade.
I never got The Sims.
You never got The Sims? And you were a gamer.
I know, but I got Roller Coaster Tycoon. And
that's fun too.
I would just like build terrible roller coasters and watch people die.
That I would do the same thing. Yeah. But I would do that with my Sims.
But it cannot just be like they just crash and burn. It has to be like comically done. Like they have to.
You have to like loop to loop.
Yeah,
and then
like woo! And then they go woo! Yeah.
Woo! This coaster's out of this. Wow, we're dying. I loved making the Sims and then like trapping. This is so morbid. And then like trapping them in their house and then being like, hey, go ahead and light that firework.
Right.
And then they're like, and that's terrible. Play this for my therapist sometime.
Right. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? No, but I actually stopped playing The Sims because I made like a version of my family. So like my mom and dad and my sister and myself, and my character was about to be
Your family also has like green things on
yes.
their head. Yeah.
They like, it was such a happy family, but then it was so weird because in the game, my character was about to be sent off to boarding school, and which didn't happen to me in real life, but it was like the world was collapsing because my mom and dad in the game were about to get divorced, and in real life, my mom and dad were going through a divorce.
That's so crazy. So
right?
like those characters actually like cognitively thought of like sending you to boarding school and things.
Yeah,
like
because I was misbehaving, or like I wouldn't go to school. Like I wouldn't have my sim wake up.
Did you build a school?
No, that's not how it worked. Have you ever played Sims?
No.
Oh, you'd love it.
Really?
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, it's stupidly fun.
Oh.
Or you get bored with it.
I feel like I'd get bored with it.
You might get bored with it. I like that. Like,
because you have to be patient with that, right?
You have to be, well, unless you know the code words, the video game code words.
Oh.
If you type in Rosebud, as much money as you want.
Right.
As much money as you want, and then you can, like, deck out your house. But, like, if you're an adult, like, if you make an adult sim, you can have them get a job. But if you already have that much money, then you're just, like, they can go swimming or, you know, like, sleep together in the bed and stuff.
Oh, and they don't have to, like, actually pay for things. Oh. So
right.
Okay.
But if you don't know the code word, yeah, you gotta get a job.
Yeah.
And if you didn't make your sim smart, then they're going to have shitty jobs.
Oh.
See, yeah, this is...
And it's because you have to take them, or you have to make them go to school.
Yes.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's fun. But
Anyway.
more like toy...
No, I want that for Christmas.
It was fun, yeah. No, you can download it on your computer. More like toy-wise, I loved... Do you know what a magic doodle is?
No.
A magnadoodle?
No, magnadoodle.
Magnadoodle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I had the largest one. It was so big. I mean, it was like maybe like 3 feet by 2 feet. But I would sit in my basement with it like on my lap drawing. And I would like draw characters and then like erase them. And I'd be like telling a story.
Yeah.
And now I don't know.
Oh my God. Actually, now that I think
so
about
good.
it. There was a Christmas present I got one year. It was a CD-ROM and it was called Storybook Weaver. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Oh my God. I think you would have loved it if you had it as a kid.
Paint me a story.
Yeah. So basically what it is you put the CD in, the software come up, which is so crazy to think about now. Like you had an external thing to put in.
Right.
Oh, so crazy. Anyway, so this blank page would come up and it's split in two. The first half is actually like anything you design. You choose the background, you choose the characters, you put them where they place like on the screen.
Oh my God,
you
that
have like
sounds
little
amazing.
like houses that you could choose from and things like that. And on the bottom half is the text and you type out a story. And like you just make a story.
I am
and, like,
so upset I did not have this as a
yeah,
kid.
it was so much fun. But I remember like I didn't know how to end stories. I always knew how to begin stories and not know how to end them.
Much like this.
I was like shut up, very Aries mood. Yeah, and so I was just like I remember like by like chapter 2, like I think like none of my stories.
You're like,
ended.
how do I end this?
Right, none of the stories ended.
And then they went to the store. The end.
Right. But it's cool because they had so
love
many different
that.
like character options. Like there was like witches, there were warlocks, there were like gremlins, there were like normal people.
Some kind of like Dungeons and Dragons moment you got going there.
Well, it was just cool because like you could just like
fantastical world.
Yeah, it was cool.
I love that. I mean, I would have loved that as a kid, but also my parents knew that I could draw.
Yeah.
I'm like humble bragging. I was like low key humble bragging.
Yeah.
I was like, I naturally can draw, so they would get me a lot of art supplies. But the Magnadoodle, I called it the Magic Doodle because it was magical in my life.
Aww.
I don't know, isn't that beautiful? No, I just didn't know what it was called. I love
like, that. Was your like funny excuse to like not knowing what it actually was.
Oh yeah, oh my God, when I was like 6 or 7, my parents got me these puppets with like Velcro eyes and hair and stuff. I love puppets. Oh my God.
Everyone loves puppets.
Everyone loves puppets, but it was great because there was some wigs that came with wigs. It was kind of like some wigs that you could get for the puppets and like Velcro it to the top of the puppet's head. And I was like, it was kind of like a Barbie. And my sister was still young enough that she didn't have Barbies yet. And my mom had this weird rule where she was like, she's like, I don't want Kelsey having Barbies because it has like, strange body image things for girls. So my sister's first Barbie, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck about the Barbie's body. I want to play with her hair. I want to dress her up. I want to throw her in the pool.
Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah. We didn't have a pool. Well, we had a pool, but it was like one of those that you get at Costco and you fill it with water. You remember those?
Yeah.
They were very popular in 2004, 2005. And what ended up happening is we left it up throughout the winter and it kind of like created a lot of algae. It was like, yeah. And then my dad went outside and was really pissed off and he like knocked it over.
Oh. And it just fell out.
Yeah. And actually, if you look up my childhood home from Google Maps, there's still like a giant circle of dead grass that you can see. Yeah, I'll show you afterwards.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that was where our pool was.
Oh, that's funny.
So my sister's first Barbie was the slumber party Barbie, where she had like a squishy body. And like she was like soft. And I was like, okay, I changed my mind. This Barbie needs tits. Yeah. No, I loved playing with Barbies. And actually, but I knew that playing with Barbies was not what little boys should be doing. Yeah. So it was always like, oh, I'm playing with Barbies with Kelsey. Yeah. Like, I'm being such a good big brother. And she's like sitting, she was like, let's go play basketball. Like, she very much was like, yeah, Kelsey's very much like, let's go play basketball. Or sometimes Kelsey, for fun, would clean the house.
Capricorn.
She's a Capricorn, yeah. She loved to dust. like my mom would be like cleaning, and I would just be
I
like,
think Kelsey and I would have gotten along.
Yeah,
because one, I'm a very clean person in general, but two, I also pretended with my little sister that we were hotel maids, and like we would clean the house together. But it was just me trying to manipulate my sister to clean up together.
Oh my God. See, Kelsey would be like, Kai, clean the bathroom, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But I would like be in the basement and I'd be playing with a magnet doodle, or sometimes one year, Kelsey got a Barbie head, like a styling Barbie head.
Oh.
Well, it's like, you ever see those?
Oh.
Where it was like her head,
like
and you could like, it was like bigger. So you could like braid it or, curl it or crimp it or whatever. And Kelsey was like, yeah, it's fine. And she wasn't that into it. And I was like, this is beautiful. Oh my God, I played with that so much. And then every time I'd hear someone walking down the stairs, I'd like throw it to the side and jump down and like grab whatever like boy toy was near me. So it'd be like a dinosaur and Star Wars figure, which in my head, I'm just like, those don't go together. But I was just like, rawr, oh, hi guys, what's up?
Right. Meanwhile, like Barbie's like over there serving looks. Like.
She's just like over there with like half her head braided. I went through this phase where I like to tease Kelsey a lot. That's probably like the worst part about me in my entire, no, not my entire life, but I teased her a lot. So I would like take her Barbies and I was like, I'm playing with them. So she's like, no, give me the Barbies back. And I'm like, I'm going to flush them. I would say, I'm going to go flush them.
Oh.
And I would go into the bathroom and she'd be like screaming and kicking at the door and I'd have the door locked. But really I was just playing with the Barbie's hair. And then I would flush the toilet and then twist the hair really fast, and make it wet, and then be like, "See what I did?" And she's like, "No."
So dramatic.
But really, I was just like playing with the Barbie. But I would lie and say that I was flushing them.
Yeah. Oh my God, so mean.
Well, I was protecting myself. I was like, I know I can't really be playing with Barbie, so I'm going to pretend that I'm torturing her.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah. When I was the tortured soul.
Oh.
Wow.
I remember I was also, now I think about it, when I was really young, I was into Thomas and the Tank Engine, and I would get collectible trains growing up. And I remember like I would get the railroad, like the wooden railroads that you could like play them on and things like that. And each year, like my parents would get me a new model, and my favorite one was Henry, and I loved Henry. He was this like long green engine and things like that.
That's the same name as your dildo.
Yes.
It's a long green engine.
Long green engine.
Named Henry.
Yeah. But I just remember it was really fun because I feel like with my toys specifically, like I always wanted to, like, I guess escape reality, if that makes sense.
Well, I think every kid's kind of well, you ever meet a kid who's not imaginative?
Right. I was
they're a serial killer. I was just like, it's like, I don't like it.
Right. I was like, there are some kids who like could not do that. They couldn't play along with like role playing.
Very much.
They couldn't get, like, you're a character, I'm a character. Let's do this. I do this stuff and you do that. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
See, I just thrived on that. Like when Pokemon was really big, oh my God. Pokemon. Everything.
I was pretending to play Pokemon.
Yes, yeah. and like my friends and I had this one friend who he had the biggest hill, and it was kind of dangerous because it was such a steep hill, and it went right down to a lake. So sometimes in the winter we would go like sledding and just about fall in the lake. But
that'd be fun.
It was fun. So he had a little brother who was around the same age as Kelsey, and we would all be Pokemon trainers. We all had like the stuffed animals, so we would like run around outside with them. Oh, it was such a good time. But like you never have someone like we're all like in it to win it. Like it was so invested, competitive, and like we had our characters and everything. But if you pull someone else in and they're like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
And I'm like, you're breaking character.
Right. I know, you're just like, you're ruining it. Go home.
You're ruining it. Get out of here, David.
Ew, David.
That was the next door neighbor. But he, no, it's.
I'm trying to think of anything that I did. I remember that there were, did you ever get clothes as Christmas presents?
I did get clothes sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I always hated it as a kid.
I feel like I took on a lot of emotional things as a child that I don't know what happened to me, but I was always like, I need to be grateful because there are people out there that have less than I do.
Well, that's great.
Like that was, it's grateful. Yeah. My parents were very much like, you be grateful. And oh my God, I know what happened. Going through my trauma. So when I was like turning 5, I got like, there's a video of me and I got like so many toys. Like I'm very much a horse girl. I love horses. Yeah. And I got like some horses. I got some DVDs. I think I got like the Little Rascals, like that. It was like that time. Yeah. And coloring books and all that stuff. And I remember my mom's friend got me like a basketball, football, and soccer ball. And I was like, I had a speech impediment. So I was like, I already have this.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
like tossed it to the side, and my dad was about to go to work, and in the video you see him walk up to me, and I remember this, and he walked up to me and he grabbed my shoulder and he was like, all right, have a good day, and he whispered to me and he said, you be grateful for what they give you.
Oh.
And I will never forget that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just stuck with me even as an adult, that like anything that people do, they did not have to do that for you.
Right.
Be grateful for everything.
Right.
And so of course the next thing I open up is I'm like, oh, okay, oh, I love it. And then the next thing I open up is stickers from my Aunt Debbie. And I go, ooh, stickers. Because I was also very into stickers as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's pictures of me putting stickers like all over people's bodies. Like I'll try to
strangers.
No, that's what I do now. But as a kid, there's like a picture of my mom, and she's like holding my sister as a baby. She looks exhausted.
Yeah.
And she has this like giant sweater on, and she's covered in smiley face stickers.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
I just have my face like leaning against her, like, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many toys. I mean, I was very into. Did you like Gargoyles? Like the
No.
animated show?
What's that?
It was on Disney.
Oh, I was a Nickelodeon girl.
I watched one Saturday morning on ABC Kids. Gargoyles. Oof, that you never seen it?
No. What
It's
is
on
that?
it's on Disney
Is it
Plus.
Like,
You should watch it. I think
is it like the
it's really
Hunchback of
good.
Notre Dame gargoyles?
No, it's
Oh.
like these characters. They're like they're gargoyles. So by day they're stone.
Yeah.
And by night they're kind of like superhero gargoyles.
Oh.
And they're like they break and they're like "Grrr," and "Rrr," and they all have like little personalities. I was obsessed with that. I liked the creepy stuff. Like I liked like Nightmare Before Christmas.
too.
Like that kind of stuff was
Well,
always fun.
I remember I asked for Psycho on VHS when I was 11.
That's Psycho.
Yeah. Well, it's because I was like really into like horror and macabre stuff and like
That's
like I know, it was weird. I don't know.
See, you liked actual horror. I liked
Horror.
horror. I liked creepy. I like just creepy things.
Yeah.
Like creepy imaginative things.
Did you open Christmas presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Ooh, I think it would depend. Like usually always it was Christmas Day.
Okay.
Maybe it was like, oh, you could open one gift. But usually like our tradition in my family is you get Christmas pajamas.
Oh.
So every year we always get like brand new, so you sleep in like clean pajamas.
Yeah. Our tradition is that we always open Christmas presents as a family on Christmas Eve, and we always exchange gifts, and like that's the family thing. We wait on Christmas Day, and then we wait for what Santa got us, and then it's like another round and things like that. But because of that, Santa never really got that much credit in my household because Santa would always just bring like little gifts and things like that, and like the big things were from my parents. I think they just wanted the credit, right?
Oh.
But I just remember there were like so many
girl.
like little traditions that my parents did that like kind of tricked us into believing in Santa. Like one year,
I still believe in Santa.
Oh.
I believe in the heart and humanity and love that Santa represents.
well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes, we will. 'Cause it was very traumatic when I found out.
Oh, really? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So I remember there were two things that happened. One was that I had like a sheet of paper out, and I was just like, Santa, sign here or something like that. And it was just like, saying if Santa's real. The next day, the sheet actually was covered in like glittered
Hoofs and stuff.
hooves and everything like that, and each one like signed their name underneath it. So like it'd be like Dasher, and then like I don't know. And at the very end, there was like cookie. I think a cookie was eaten and things like that. And I remember I was like so shocked by that. I was just like, oh my god! I didn't think they would go out of their way that
You
much
ever
for
put out
me.
carrots? You ever put out carrots for the reindeer?
No, it was always cookies and milk.
Oh, my parents, like, we put out carrots, and, which now looking back, it was, like, the like, long, dirty, like, carrots.
Yeah.
And then
Like
they're
from, like,
gnawed
Winnie the
on.
Pooh.
Yes! And then they're, like, gnawed on, so one of my parents had to do that.
They're like crying. They're like, oh, it's for the kids.
But, like, I like, we always had, like, the 3 Santa rule, like, the 3 gift Santa rule. So any toys that we got, it was usually 3. Now, Santa may have, he'd, like, slip
Splurge.
in. Yeah, he might, like, slip in something in your stocking, or, like, here's the Shrek VHS, or here's, like, a plastic sled, because we had a hill in the backyard that we would go up and down, or, little things like that. So it's like, oh, here's the major things. Now, I didn't always get what I asked for, and that's another thing as a kid. If you ask for something and you don't get it, it didn't mean that we were bad kids. Like, my parents were always like, Santa just wasn't able to do that because he has so many kids that he has to help. And I was like, you know what? When you put it that way, I'm just happy that I got anything.
Right.
Like, it was very much that. But when I found out that Santa was not real,
I remember,
not that he is not real.
Right. I remember the day that I was just like, oh yeah, he's not real.
I was in 5th grade. And
5th grade?
Yes, I'm a firm believer in magic and beautiful. I'm a believer in the otherness of the world, which is why I love ghosts. And I was
and
just
your
like,
career.
and my career. Oh, use your imagination for Kyle's career. My favorite toy.
Yeah.
But I remember 5th grade, like, kind of knowing since like 4th grade, maybe even 3rd grade, but at the same time not wanting it to be real.
Right.
So one day, my dad picked us up from school, and I nonchalantly said to Dad, I said, Dad, is Santa real? Expecting him to be like, of course. And before any of this, my parents would say, looking back, like, they were basically like, I mean, hey, Kyle, come on. But they would say, Santa is as real
as you want him to be,
as what's in your heart. And I never, I mean, maybe I'm an idiot. I did not put 2 and 2 together. I was just like, so he is then. And
so yes.
So I asked my dad in point blank, and he went and whispered in my ear, and he said, he's real to Kelsey. And then I was like, what? And then I walked away, and then I was just like, it was like the lady with the math problems all over her head. And I was just like, Santa not real? Oh my God, what did that mean?
I'm just imagining like Daniel like just like taking a step back and like watching you walk away. He's just like, I just fucked that kid.
Yeah, because then I walked back into the room, and he was like, I think he was reading Kelsey a book, and I was like, so Dad, this is so the thing you said like earlier, it's true. It's not real. And he's like he's basically like, Kyle, don't ruin this for Kelsey. And he's like, no, Kyle, it's not. Yeah. But if you want him to, that's okay too. And I was like, okay. And then I had a full-blown breakdown.
Oh my God.
Sobbing, so crying. Oh my God, it hurt so bad. I remember my parents holding me because I was shaking with such sadness that Santa...
I would have hated you if we were growing up together.
Oh my God, I was so heartbroken. This is actually the first time that I am reliving this story out loud.
Yeah.
And... my mom came home, and I remember my dad like whispering to her, and she's like, "You did what?" And of course,
she's also like, "He's not.
He's not." And so, of course, she cried a little bit because,
oh my God.
Well, we're a dramatic family, and of course, my sister doesn't pick up anything.
Reading the book.
Yeah, she's reading the book. She's like, I'm reading this book. Like, she was very like, I don't know what they're doing.
Right. Cleaning.
Yeah, she was cleaning. And so we were just like all crying. Then my dad cried because he felt bad.
Oh my God.
Because it was so hard for me. It was like a little bit of magic. A little bit of my childhood was gone. And
wow, I'm like dead inside.
Oh, maybe. So then my parents reminded me of this a couple years ago, that I walked up to them and I kind of had calmed down. I got my tears out and I was like, it's okay. It's okay.
No more tears left to cry.
No more tears left to cry. And I was like, I guess, thank you for all the presents over the years. And I gave them a big hug, because then that's what hit me. That's, I think, what made me so sad, is that my parents went through such a charade to create magic, to actually make sure that my sister and I had a good Christmas, even though we were not a wealthy family whatsoever, and they probably were breaking the bank just to get certain things. And I think as like I was like 12, and that hit me. It was kind of like, you don't have money to be doing this. I thought Santa was taking care of this.
Yeah.
And you're out there buying shit for us? Are you kidding me? And I felt terrible. It's so sad. So that's my trauma. Welcome to Fear the Queer.
I was like,
it was very traumatic.
I was like, I feel like I should have went first with my Finding Out Santa's real story, because I was like, mine was just like, we were walking through Walmart. My mom was just like, oh, we need to make sure that we have the Christmas ready and everything to go. And then I just realized, like, halfway through shopping, I was just like, oh, my mom shopped for me this entire time. And then I just kept walking. It was just like a very like
there are two kinds of people.
It was just like a very minor blip, and I was like, I think I was like 7. And I was just like, whatever. I still get gifts.
Well, that's why, like, okay, so, like, in my family, especially, like, my mom is very much like Santa is real and the magic of Christmas is real.
Yeah.
What he represents of love and compassion and kindness and giving to others, that's what's important.
Yeah.
So I believe in that. And I think that I'm such a Hallmark card. Who the fuck am I?
I don't know. It's just like,
I feel like this is so revealing.
Around us.
It's so like revealing. I feel like I'm like such a sassy bitch.
Yeah.
But really, I'm like a little cuddly baby. Santa. Santa brought a lot of great gifts, though. I mean, hey, I got so many good toys.
Well, now I think about it, I think what my family focused on more than Santa was actually just being together as a family. And Santa was just like an extra bonus.
Like, that's what we are now. Like, I don't really care about gifts. Like, I feel like as a kid, you get a bunch of toys. Yeah. And then as an adult, if you want toys, not sexual toys, Josh.
I was just like, I have a whole bunch.
Put them away. Put your toy box away. No, if you want stuff, you go out and get it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't expect my parents to give me anything.
Yeah.
Like, anything is just like a bonus. So...
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like, holidays, I'm like, I just want to spend time with my family.
I know. I always hate the question, like, especially now as an adult, like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't want anything. I just would rather just come home and spend time with you guys.
See, my parents don't ask me. They know. And anything they get me, it's all from my birthday when I was an ungrateful little bitch. Everything I get, I'm so fucking grateful for. Because it's like, I didn't have that before. Last year, my dad gave me a box of like 30 Cliff Bars. And I was like, thanks, Dad! Because I know I'm going to eat them.
I was just like, when you're really hungry.
I'm going to eat the Cliff Bars or, you know, like, you just, I don't know. I think being appreciative of what you have is important.
Yes, for sure. I didn't realize this was going to be a therapy episode for you.
I didn't realize either. We started talking about toys, and I realized, oh, those toys were from my parents, not from Santa.
Yeah. I was going to say, hypothetically, I'm going to leave this question to you as our final thing.
Okay.
If you were a parent, and if you wanted to keep like a Christmas tradition alive in your family, what would be things that you would do to keep the illusion of Santa alive for your kid?
Oh, man.
Would you dress up?
You know, I don't know if I would dress up, but I might hire someone. I think, here's the thing, because I believe in honesty.
Yeah.
But I believe that telling your kids that there's this mythical creature of Santa isn't necessarily lying.
No.
It's kind of like I would probably go through some of the motions, you know, eating the cookies, but that's because I'm hungry.
But rather than just taking a bite, you just take the whole thing.
I do remember one year my parents did not eat, like, one of the cookies was not eaten, and it was put, because we had, like, decorated them, like, specifically, and one of them was out on the plate, and this is, you know, post-Santapocalypse, and I saw that it was put back in the cookie jar, and I was like, they just fucking put it back in the jar. Where's the illusion? Right. Where's the drama? But I would probably do the whole thing that my parents were saying, like, Santa is alive in the hearts of those who believe and believe what he represents.
Yeah.
And do a whole, like, you know, these gifts, like, these toys are fun, but we should also focus on, like, making other people's seasons bright.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's so sweet.
I was like, Kyle's gonna go off and start a family right now.
I'm literally like, hey, husbands, and if you have kids, like, I'd be a great step parent, I think. Yeah. Saying it out loud does not make it good. I was like, oh, that doesn't feel...
Step parent.
I was like, oh, that doesn't feel natural for my body. I always think of, like, Christmas season toys. I think it's wild that kids today don't have... Do they have the same, like, oh, I want this new toy? Or are they just getting, like, iPads,
right,
and AirPods,
and you could download the new app that day,
right? Yeah. It's like, oh, you can download, you know, Facetune that day, sweetie. Right. Merry fucking Christmas, and she's like, Mom, you spent $2.99 on this. And
right.
I'm like,
well, I think that's why, if I were to keep traditions alive, it necessarily wouldn't be around toys and gift giving because I feel like that changes with times. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like spending time with your family and, like, hanging up stockings and, you know, like, I don't know if you ever went to church, but, like, like, I actually did.
I love the light.
I actually did enjoy going to Christmas service. Like,
that's always very cozy.
Yeah, it is. Like, it always feels really nice and everyone's, like, all together.
Yeah.
and making sure that All I Want for Christmas for You is rocking around the Christmas tree, and all those great songs are playing at full blast all throughout the day.
Speaking of Mariah Carey coming back to life,
Yes.
did I ever tell you about how my mom fucking loves that song? Meg lives for Mariah Carey. And
Me too.
When we right.
Yeah.
And well, just her Christmas album. I don't think Meg realized that Mariah Carey had a whole career outside of her Christmas album.
Meg
Truly,
to Mariah
honestly.
Carey, I don't know her.
I don't know her outside of Christmas.
Yeah.
But we would be like in the mall, and once you hear the dun 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 dun, we'd be like in Forever 21 or like Bass Pro Shops, and my mom's like, "Come on, like we have to keep going. We have to," and it would be like dun dun dun, and she'd be like, and she would sing along in the middle of the store with it, and my sister and I are like, "Mom, come on!" And so she loved it so much that she downloaded it as her ringtone for the holiday season. Mm-hmm. Well, she couldn't figure out how to not make that her ringtone. So it'd be like in the middle of July, and all of a sudden it'd be like, all I want for Christmas is you.
So like, she's like the type of mom who's just like, Christmas music year round.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
no.
still is.
Oh, no.
She sent me a thing like literally October 31st that was like, listen to Christmas music. And I mean, like, I love it. Christmas is like very cozy for me.
I mean, Christmas is great, but I think I am a traditionalist in the sense of like you wait until after Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving needs its recognition.
Well, I lump everything together.
It's like the holiday season.
The holiday season,
Starts
and that's
with Halloween, ends with New Year's.
Yes. I'm very much like, okay, you get like the spookiness in Halloween, and then you kind of go into like the Thanksgiving cozy harvest time, and maybe there's snow and coziness, and then
Literally like telling me a story.
I am moving my arms around gay.
Yeah.
And you get to December, and I think like I say like I love everything because like I don't celebrate Kwanzaa or Hanukkah.
Yeah.
But I still like want to also low-key celebrate. So I'm like, yes, the holiday season, gifts and warmth and family and friends and everything. And then you get to New Year's and you do the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And then you got nothing for the next few months until June when you get gay pride. Oh, I guess there's Valentine's Day, but I don't celebrate that shit.
No, I don't either.
I don't.
Well,
I wish I did.
luckily my
but-
birthday's in April, so I'm just like, well, there's...
Oh, that's a holiday for you.
That is a holiday for me. Actually, now I think about it, before we started this episode, we were talking about like what toys we think about growing up.
Yeah.
And I was actually struggling to think of like what toys that I really liked growing up. And then I realized it's because it didn't matter about the toys, because the memories I had were all about like my family. Oh my God, I'm getting kind of emotional right now.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, let's just, oh my God, we're ending it right here.
His eyes started watering and he's like, I'm going to talk about memories.
I know, I'm just like, no, but I think about it, just like Christmas like now I think about it, Christmas is all about just being with my family and loved ones and not...
It's not about the toys.
No. These
it's about,
toys, maybe.
It's about like what you do with the toys. What? No, that didn't work. That didn't work either. That did not work either. When you were talking about Thomas the Tank Engine, I was thinking about how my granny, she had a train set, and she would put it up underneath her Christmas tree. And
oh, that's cute.
It's super cute. And this is the kind of kid I was. Mm-hmm. I would play with the train set, but I also would take like little toy, like we had like a little like toy family, and I would like put them on the train tracks. Because we also had a Godzilla toy that would have put her there, and we'd have people that have to come rescue them. And see, I'm very imaginative.
I like it.
Yeah. So you were playing Thomas the Tank Engine in the proper traditionalist way, and here I am pretending that people could almost die, and I was like 8 years old.
Two types of people again.
Two types of people. So yeah, it's not about the toys; it's how you use the toys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what this episode.
Lesson
that's the lesson.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode, everyone. Sorry, that was just so funny.
Are you about to cry?
No, I'm just laughing. It's just like the moral lesson of the story is not about the toys itself, but what you use with them.
It's how you use the toys. Am I right, ladies? And everyone's like, get out of here. Like, please. Yeah, so I don't know what's around your holiday tree, War on Christmas.
Well, I was gonna say, for like those who like celebrate the holidays, let us know like what your traditions were.
Yeah.
Like, what toys
did you get toys?
Yeah, did you get toys? Do you care about toys? Would you want to...
Were you a brat? Did you make Christmas lists?
Right.
I never did.
List. No.
No, this is my grown-up Christmas list.
Actually, do you know
what? More lives torn apart, and wars would never start. and time would heal our heart. Do you not know the song?
No.
Every man would have a friend, and love would always win, and time would heal all. Something like that. This is my grown-up Christmas list. It is my holy lifelong wish. This is my grown-up Christmas wish. I think that happened.
And that's the reveal, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who listened to this episode is now going to get a free copy of Kyle's Christmas album sent to them.
Sent to them. Oh my God, should
As
I?
a Christmas toy.
Should I put out a Christmas song?
It's up to you.
Are you tempting me?
Can you make it Fear the Queer related?
I'm dying. Stop it. Okay. I got things I gotta make. Okay, so if you like this episode,
Make sure...
who's your favorite toy, Kyle or Josh?
Make sure to subscribe to us on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for us for Fear the Queer Podcast.
Yes, and you can always email us, although I don't think people are emailing us. Send us lists so we can check off if you're naughty or nice.
Hopefully you're extra naughty this year.
I think I'm nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm nice.
Two types of people.
I think I'm nice.
Yeah.
All right, but you're naughty.
Very.
You're naughty,
There's this new
girl.
toy that I have.
Put her away. Oh my God, it's called the Demon.
Right.
Oh my God, it's 17 inches thick and red.
And to think, that's just the starter kit.
But does she come with a wig?
No, that is separate.
Okay, see, good thing I have a wig here. Put it on her. She's my new Barbie.
Our new toys.
Our new toys, yeah. Josh, as adults, I buy wigs. I buy wigs and do drag makeup and
And I buy other things.
you just purchased Disney Plus and chicken nuggets.
Yes. While playing with my toys.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure to also subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and
SoundCloud.
I was just like, what is the third one? Yeah.
SoundCloud.
And I hope you all get lovely toys this year.
Yeah, and have a good start to your holiday season with all the
Yes.
toys.
The toys are involved.
Toys.
And as always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're
Fear the Queer. Bye. This is my grown-up Christmas. You don't know that song?
I don't. I'm just trying to sing along with you.
We're gonna play. Okay, wait. No more lives torn apart, and wars would never
start.
Okay, there we go. And time would heal our
heart.
There we go. I think you do know the song.
I know.
Every man
Would.
have a friend.
'Cause that's what
Close enough.
friends are for.
And don't start war. And you just make up shit. I don't know. Ho, ho, ho.